Hello and welcome. We start with Niger in West Africa. The spat between the junta-led Sahelian nation and its former colonial power France is escalating. In the latest, Niger junta has taken control of a uranium mine, which is operated by a French nuclear firm called Orano. The firm says it has lost the operational control of the Somair mine in Niger. The mine is located in Niger's northern Erlit region. The French firm Orano holds 63% stake in the mine, while the Niger government owns around 37%. Now, France managed to secure exclusive access to Niger's uranium supply through various agreements after Niger's independence in 1960. However, French operations in the country have taken a hit after a military coup in the country in 2022, led by General Abdourahmane Tiani.
Niger has done what many thought impossible. With a single, seismic move, it seized control of its destiny and sent shockwaves across continents. The nationalization of the Somair uranium mine is not just a political maneuver, it is a declaration. The message is clear. Africa will no longer be mined, stripped, and left empty in the name of someone else's progress. This act is more than the reclamation of a resource. It is a reclamation of dignity, agency, and voice. For decades, Niger's yellowcake powered Parisian lights while its own people lived in darkness. Now, the script has flipped. Niger's stand is a beacon for other African nations. It is a rallying cry for a continent hungry for justice and sovereignty. Change did not come by polite request. It was seized. The world must now witness the rise of an Africa that refuses to bow. Niger is no longer just a player on the chessboard. It is rewriting the rules. This is the opening salvo in a new chapter of Pan-African defiance. The world is watching. Niger is leading. The time of extraction without accountability is over. To understand the moment, we must remember the history. France's shadow loomed large over Niger since the days of colonial rule. The discovery of uranium in the 1950s changed everything. Suddenly, Niger was not just another territory. It was France's golden goose. French companies, backed by the state, swooped in to claim the riches beneath Niger's soil. For decades, the arrangement was simple but brutal. French corporations mined the uranium. The profits flowed to Paris. Niger got crumbs. This was not partnership, it was plunder. French nuclear energy thrived. Niger's people remained among the world's poorest. The arrangement was enforced by political pressure, economic bullying, and, when needed, the threat of force. The Somair mine, established in 1968, became the crown jewel of this exploitative system. Its yellowcake powered France's nuclear reactors, lighting the Eiffel Tower, while Niger's villages struggled for running water. The mine's output became a symbol of colonial extraction, raw wealth taken, with little returned. This was the colonial contract, French prosperity, African poverty. The lines were clear, the power asymmetry stark. But history does not stand still. Niger's people remembered. They endured. And finally, they acted. The Somair mine is not just another pit in the ground. It is the heart of France's nuclear machine. Uranium from Niger fuels nearly 70% of France's electricity. The lights of Paris, Lyon, and Marseille glow because of Nigerian uranium. Without it, France's economy dims, and its claims to energy independence falter. For France, Somair has always been more than a business asset. It is a strategic lifeline. Control over Niger's uranium meant control over domestic security, energy prices, and even geopolitical leverage in Europe. French state-owned giant Orano, formerly known as Areva, managed the mine in a partnership that was never equal. France dictated, Niger complied, the uranium flowed north, the wealth stayed there. Year after year, billions in value left Niger's soil. The environmental scars remained. The people bore the risks of radiation, environmental harm, and social disruption. While French companies boasted of investing in Africa, they left Niger with polluted land, meager wages, and a bitter sense of betrayal. Somair is not just a symbol of extraction, it is the lever by which France maintained its grip. That grip has now been broken. Niger has turned the tables. Everything changed when Niger's military government took power. The coup was swift, decisive, and unapologetic. The transitional military rulers did not mince words. They declared that Niger's resources would no longer be controlled by foreign interests. Their first target, the Somair uranium mine. When France demanded to renegotiate, Niger refused. There would be no more partnerships on colonial terms, no more lopsided contracts, no more siphoning of Niger's lifeblood to light up foreign cities while its own children studied by candlelight. The government nationalized Somair with immediate effect, sending French managers packing. The response was bold. Niger's leaders stated, "Our uranium belongs to us. We will decide its future." They refused to be intimidated by threats of sanctions or international isolation. The message was clear. Niger would no longer be bullied. Resource nationalism was not a slogan, it was a policy. This was not just an economic decision, it was a statement of sovereignty. Niger reclaimed control, not just of uranium, but of its own destiny. The era of subservience was over. The shock in Paris was, well, palpable. French officials scrambled for statements, while the media called it an unprecedented crisis. With Somair in Nigerian hands, France, and by extension the European Union, faced a hard truth. Their energy security rested on a fragile foundation, African compliance. For years, Europe took Niger for granted. Uranium was cheap, reliable, and honestly, they assumed it was guaranteed. But that illusion shattered overnight. Suddenly, France had to reckon with the possibility of blackouts, energy shortages, and spiking prices. The myth of energy independence was exposed as a lie built on African resources. European leaders lobbied, threatened, and pleaded. None of it worked. Niger's government stood firm, immune to diplomatic pressure. The West's leverage was gone. The world saw, maybe for the first time so clearly, the hypocrisy of former colonial powers demanding respect for contracts they themselves had written in bad faith. France's discomfort revealed a deeper truth. Europe's prosperity has always depended on African extraction. Now, Africans were saying no. The era of easy access was over. The immediate effect on global uranium markets was, well, dramatic. Prices spiked as traders scrambled to secure alternative supplies. Niger is the world's 7th largest uranium producer. Its withdrawal left a gaping hole. Utilities from Japan to the United States began to worry about where their next shipment would come from. Niger's move forced the world to acknowledge the true value of African resources. No longer could buyers dictate terms. Now they had to negotiate. The rules of the game had changed overnight. Countries that once ignored Niger were suddenly sending envoys, eager to patch up relations and sign new deals. Some warned of instability. But for many in Africa, the market shock was proof of their own power. For too long, they had accepted bad deals in the name of stability. Now, they saw that control meant leverage, and leverage meant freedom. The world learned a lesson. Africa is not a passive supplier, it is a power broker. Niger's stand has set a precedent that will echo for years. Niger's defiance did not happen in isolation. Across West Africa, leaders and citizens alike watched closely. In Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea, talk of resource nationalization grew louder. Each country has its own wealth: gold, bauxite, iron ore. Each has felt the sting of foreign exploitation. Mali's transitional government has already hinted at revisiting mining contracts. Burkina Faso's new rulers speak openly of economic liberation. Guinea, rich in bauxite, is eyeing greater control over its exports. Niger's stand is inspiring a wave of re-evaluation. Why should African riches build European empires? Why not build Africa instead? The pattern is clear. When one nation stands tall, others find their voice. Niger has shown that courage is contagious. Pan-African unity is no longer a dream. It is becoming a strategy. The dominoes may be about to fall. As each country learns from Niger's example, the balance of power shifts. Africa is waking up to its own wealth. The world should take note. This is more than a story about uranium. It is about sovereignty. It is about Africa breaking free from the chains of neo-colonialism. For too long, foreign powers dictated the terms. They wrote the rules and expected obedience. Niger has refused to play that game. Pan-African pride is rising. The message is simple. Africa will no longer accept the crumbs from its own feast. The continent is uniting around a new vision, one where resources are used for African benefit, not foreign profit. This is not isolationism. It is self-respect. It is the right to decide. The old order is dying. The future belongs to those who seize it. Niger's nationalization of Somair is not an isolated event. It is part of a larger awakening. Across Africa, young people are demanding change. They want education, infrastructure, and dignity. They want their leaders to serve the people, not foreign interests. This is the heart of Pan-African resistance. Sovereignty is not a gift, it is a right. Niger has claimed it. Others will follow. Niger plans to invest uranium wealth in schools, hospitals, and roads. They envision a nation where the riches of the land uplift the people. Niger seeks new partners on new terms. The nation is building capacity for local processing and value addition. Africa is tired of exporting raw materials and importing poverty. This is a turning point for the continent. A new story is being written, one of pride, unity, and hope. It is a beacon of what can be built. Africa's time has come, and this is Insight Africa, where the continent speaks for itself.